Lincoln Motor Company was formed in 1917 by father and son Henry Leland and Wilfred Leland. The elder Leland named it for the first president for whom he voted. Lincoln built airplane engines during World War I, then shifted to production of luxury automobiles. Faced with a difficult economy and disappointing sales, the company entered receivership. Lincoln found salvation in another father-son duo, Henry Ford and Edsel Ford. Ford Motor Company purchased Lincoln Motor Company in 1922. The $8 million deal spared Lincoln from closure, and Lincoln's luxury cars expanded Ford's product line beyond the economical Model T. Edsel Ford guided Lincoln with a simple but highly personal vision. Father made the most popular car in the world. I would like to make the best car in the world. Lincoln grew into one of America's most admired luxury automakers, and it remains so today. The Henry Ford's collections include important Lincoln automobiles, archival materials, photographs, publications, and videos. Below are links to some of our most significant resources related to the history of Lincoln Motor Company. Lincoln Automobiles. 1922 Lincoln Camp Vehicle, built to carry food and supplies for Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Harvey Firestone on their vagabonds camping trips. 1923 Lincoln Touring Car, one of the first Lincolns built under Ford ownership, given to Thomas Edison by Henry Ford. 1929 Lincoln Convertible Victoria, Edsel Ford gave Lincoln a sophisticated look to match its luxury status. 1936 Lincoln Zephyr Sedan, this mid-priced model helped carry Lincoln through the Great Depression. 1937 Lincoln Brun Touring Car, Lincoln Model K buyers could choose a body directly from Lincoln, or purchase a bare chassis and commission a body from a custom coach builder. 1941 Lincoln Continental Cabriolet, Edsel Ford and designer Bob Gregory gave this car a European-inspired Continental look. 1941 Lincoln Continental Convertible, this Continental was Edsel Ford's personal car. 1953 Ford X100 concept car, built to celebrate Ford's 50th anniversary, this car has an engine and drivetrain by Lincoln. 1956 Continental Mark II, Continental was its own make, separate from Lincoln, when this car appeared, but it paid tribute to Edsel Ford's original 1940 to 1948 Lincoln Continentals. 1964 Lincoln Continental Stretch Limousine, built for Pope Paul VI and later used as an official parade car in Chicago. 1996 Lincoln Sentinel Concept Car, design cues on this sedan pay homage to Lincolns of the 1940s and 1960s. Presidential limousines. 1939 Lincoln Presidential Limousine used by Franklin D. Roosevelt, first limousine modified specifically for presidential service, also used by Harry Truman. This was the first car built expressly for presidential use. It was nicknamed the Sunshine Special because President Franklin Roosevelt loved to ride in it with the top down. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, the car was returned to the factory where it was equipped with armor plate and bullet-resistant tires and gas tank. The Sunshine Special was retired in 1950. 1950 Lincoln Presidential Limousine used by Dwight D. Eisenhower, also used by Harry Truman and John F. Kennedy, with bubble top to protect from inclement weather. This massive convertible Lincoln was built for President Harry S. Truman in 1950, but it is most associated with Truman's successor Dwight D. Eisenhower, who used the car from 1952 until 1960. Eisenhower added the distinctive plastic bubble top. Presidents John F. Kennedy and Lyndon B. Johnson also used this car as a spare until its retirement in 1967. 1961 Lincoln Continental Presidential Limousine used by John Kennedy, car in which Kennedy was riding when he was assassinated in 1963, rebuilt and used by Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, and Jimmy Carter. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in this car on November 22, 1963. The Midnight Blue, unarmored convertible was rebuilt with a permanent roof, titanium armor plating, and more somber black paint. The limousine returned to the White House and remained in service until 1977. The modified car shows the fundamental ways in which presidential security changed after Kennedy's death. 1972 Lincoln Continental presidential limousine used by Ronald Reagan, also used by Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, and George H. Bush. President Ronald Reagan was getting into this car when he was shot by John Hinckley on March 30, 1981. The car carried Reagan to the hospital. Presidents Nixon, Ford, Carter, and George H. Bush also used this car. In 1982 the front sheet metal was updated, but since a 1982 grille no longer fit properly on the 1972 body, a 1979 grille was used.